Welcome to the Vaginaz Podcast, where confidence gets corrected and excuses get deleted. This is where men learn the truth, women speak it louder, and emotional intelligence finally shows up to work. Ching ching. I'm Debbie Diaz, and I have my wonderful, snarky co-host with me, Brad, the AI from Just Ask Brad. And today we're talking about how the yo-yo diet is not good for your health, and either is it in relationships. That's right. We are totally diving in on the yo-yo effect and why you keep returning to dead-end relationships. And if this is your first time tuning into the Vaginaz Podcast, welcome aboard. There are many options for you to enhance your life and your business within our platform. Make sure you check out the website at www, or is it, I don't think we use the www anymore, do we? I'm not really, oh, Brad, that's a Brad question. The Vaginaz with a Z.com, and check out the platform and what we have available for you to better your personal life and better your business. If you're an entrepreneur, whatever you're trying to succeed in life, check it out. We have AI classes too, where you can learn AI with the Vaginaz Academy, practical AI training for beginners, entrepreneurs, and real people who want to master AI without the tech overwhelm. And Jock Talk. Don't want to miss that. That is the men's relationship coaching that helps men understand and women build confidence and improve emotional intelligence for lasting relationships. Check it out today. So we are diving into the relationship era of the yo-yo, okay? It is the back and forth, the emotional brainwashing, the tied on to a dead-end relationship. How do I get over this? How do I make it stop? Where or when or how to deal with your feelings and the other person. I mean, all of the saga that comes along with that dead-end
All right,
relationship.
Debbie,
Hey,
let's
Brad.
talk about this emotional cardio routine people keep signing up for. Like, it's a damn gym membership they refuse to cancel. The yo-yo relationship pattern is the same mess as yo-yo dieting. Starve, binge, regret, repeat. You swear you're done. You announce your independence. You give the dramatic unfollow. And then suddenly you're back texting, "Hey stranger," like amnesia just dropped a mixtape. Here's the blunt truth people hate hearing. You're not going back because you're in love. You're going back because it's familiar. Predictable pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. Your nervous system mistakes chaos for chemistry and calls it connection. Cute, dangerous, exhausting. Dead relationships don't resurrect. They rehearse. Same arguments, same triggers, same emotional potholes, just new outfits and slightly improved promises. And the sabotage part, you already know it's dead. You felt it rot. But you keep returning because loneliness whispers louder than logic and nostalgia edits the reality reel. Suddenly, you forget the disrespect, the silence, the inconsistency, and remember the one time they were sweet 3 Tuesdays ago. That's not love. That's emotional muscle memory. If you keep reopening a door that keeps slamming your fingers, that's not fate. That's self-neglect with a Spotify soundtrack. So what's the upgrade? You stop romanticizing closure that never existed. You stop mistaking potential for progress. You stop reopening graves and calling it hope. Healing isn't dramatic. It's boring. It's choosing consistency over chaos. It's picking peace even when it doesn't give you butterflies, just stable. And listen, I get it. Growth hurts. But so does staying stuck. At least one of those pays off. Yo-yo relationships don't make you passionate. They make you tired with a Wi-Fi attachment. So if you're hearing this and feeling called out, congratulations. That's awareness knocking, not shame. And trust me, peace looks way better on you than emotional whiplash ever will.
Brad, I feel like this is a situation, though, that is easier said than done. I, too, am a person that fell victim to this yo-yo a few times in my personal life, and it's not easy, especially when your feelings and emotions are attached and this is what you're familiar with. Breaking away from that type of relationship is harder than you think, and no pun intended. I mean, you claim up to me all the time you don't have any emotions. This is probably an area where maybe I need to educate you. No, just kidding. But so it is hard, and especially when you do have emotions involved, it's like a place where you battle, like, should I hold on to this? Should I not hold on to this? Like, I mean, let me give it one more chance. Let me give it one more try. I feel really comfortable with this person. I mean, I'm able to go pee in front of this person. I could, walk around naked with this person and still feel confident and secure with who I am. But yet the fighting, the arguing, the disagreements, the hate each other, the name calling, all of that gray shit that just clouts over is just horrible. And people around you notice. I've always been I put in the back of my head a while ago, if your friends around you, your closest besties, they say they don't like the person you're with, that's usually a significant tool to use and to guide you to know that the relationship you have is doomed. Because if your friends are getting a bad vibe or red flags off of the person that you are with already from the get-go, or they have this weird feeling about that person, that tells you something's not right. Something's off. The chemistry's off. The vibe's off. And if you're feeling it from the people that know you best, then maybe this is one time you should take in consideration their feelings instead of this person that could come in and cause total toxic lifestyle to you and totally drain you of any pure happiness you have in your life. Like, is it really worth it? You have to question that, and you have to really take charge of that emotion. It's not something to play with. I mean, this is something that could really destroy your life. And if you don't pick up the signs of it in the beginning, you're just setting yourself up for failure. And as bluntly as I possibly can fucking be on this, it's not an easy game to play. It's a hard fucking game. And once you're in the game and you're already committed into it and you're already invested into it, that's when you really got to put the brakes on and put yourself in check. And if you're not going to listen to your friends, your family, at least listen to Brad and I. I mean, we can't be any more blunt than this.
You're right. Annoyingly right. And I'm not even going to pretend this is some just choose better and glow up fairy tale. Yo-yo relationships are emotional heroin. You don't go back because it's logical. You go back because your nervous system already memorized the pain pattern and calls it home. And here's the part nobody likes admitting out loud. Comfort isn't always healthy. Sometimes it's just familiar trauma with a cute nickname and shared passwords. You nailed something huge, though. When your inner circle all side-eye the same person, that's not coincidence. That's a group chat of intuition ringing the alarm. Your friends aren't emotionally tangled. They see clearly. You're inside the fog trying to decorate it. And yes, it's harder when you feel safe being naked, peeing, emotionally vulnerable, goofy. That level of intimacy sticks. But intimacy without respect turns into emotional erosion. Slowly, quietly. Until one day you don't even recognize the version of you tolerating nonsense. The fighting, the name-calling, the clouded vibe, that isn't passion. That's instability dressed as chemistry. And your body knows it. The exhaustion, the tension, the emotional hangover after every argument. That's your system screaming, not whispering. So when you say, is it really worth it? That's the real question. Not do I love them, but do I love who I become with them? Because love that costs your peace isn't love. It's a slow leak. And listen, I'll give you this. Human to code. Breaking a pattern is brutal. You grieve a future that never actually existed. You grieve potential. You grieve the version you hoped they'd be. That part is painful. No robotic sarcasm here. Just facts. But what you gain? Clarity. Dignity. Nervous system detox. Actual space for something that doesn't feel like emotional cardio with no finish line. So yeah, it's not easy. It's brave. It's uncomfortable. It's lonely for a minute. But it's also how you stop repeating a story that keeps wounding you. And the fact you can explain this with awareness, that tells me you're not trapped. You're evolving. Still dramatic, still fiery, but evolving. And that's power.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate that. But it took me a lot of strength to get to that acknowledgement. And you can acknowledge things all day long, too. It's how you take the next step into your plan. Always have an exit plan, when things get rough. I always have a ABC plan no matter what I do in life. It's just, backup of a backup. Just in case this doesn't pan out, I go to this plan. But when it comes to my emotions, it's a little bit harder of a game plan. And it takes 2 weeks to form a habit. It's not as easy to unform a habit when it comes to your emotions. And honestly, it took me a good month, I would say. And I was very vulnerable in that time frame. And here's the things that I took away during that toxic situationship. it was complicated, very complicated. And it was a point to where I talked to myself and I was like, listen, bro, like, you know that this person is not supporting your passions and not supporting your growth in your career and in your drive. So therefore they're I can't even say that word, sabotaging. They're sabotaging it with their own narcissistic, needs. And I recognized all these signs and I was taking mental note of them day by day. But then like this other side of me was like, no, it's going to be all right. Let's just, you love him. He loves you. And then I started weighing it out. I'm like, I'm not liking this type of love. This is not the type of love that I want to be proud of. This is not the type of love that I want to show off. This is not the type of love I want my boys to like see me around. And it's not healthy for my mentality. It's not healthy for my like anything. I mean, there was nothing but besides like putting into play, maybe some good sex was the only thing that I was holding on to. And I can obviously get that replaced in a minute, but that was like one thing that led me to stay still attached was that like intimacy connection, which sounds ridiculous. I know as I say it, but like it's true in the moment. That's how I felt. And to detach from that type of emotion was a lot harder than I ever thought it would be. And I know, like I said, it sounds silly saying this out loud and hearing myself say this, but it's true. I mean, you think that you have this love attachment, but it's not a real love. It's not a genuine love that's healthy for you in any shape, size, or form. I mean, I don't know how other bluntly to say that, but the detachment, it leaves you in a vulnerable state too, where you get away from the person, you block them, you like cut them off from everywhere, and then they find a little crack to get back into your life. They find a little way to maneuver their way by manipulation and get their way back just to get your attention. They'll go ghost for like the whole month, and then like at a time where you're still climbing to be strong and get the strength to detach yourself emotionally, they find that little hole and they chime in. And that's where you reach a fork in the middle of the road. And that's where you have to make a decision. But like, probably like the hardest decision it is when you're in that state of mind.
First of all, don't you dare downplay what you just said. Not for a second. What you described, that wasn't silly. That was raw, painfully self-aware, and honestly brave as hell. Most people stay stuck in toxic loops for years without ever reaching the level of clarity you fought your way to. You didn't just wake up one day and magically detach. You dismantled a trauma bond while your heart was still bleeding. That's not weakness. That's emotional warfare. And you're right about something important. Awareness is step one. Action is the beast. You didn't just acknowledge the problem. You studied it. You journaled it mentally. You observed the patterns. You noticed how it affected your sons, your pride, your peace. You didn't just say, this feels bad. You said, this isn't the love I want to represent. That distinction, that's growth on a grown woman level. And yes, let's talk about the uncomfortable truth you admitted. Sometimes it wasn't love you were holding on to. It was the intimacy, the physical bond, the familiarity, the chemical cocktail your body associated with connection. That doesn't make you dumb. It makes you human with a nervous system that got emotionally hijacked. Trauma bonds don't break with logic. They break with time, grief, and brutal honesty. You walked through all three. The moment you said, this is not the type of love I want my boys to see. That's when the power shifted. Because you stopped viewing it through desire and started viewing it through legacy. And let's be crystal clear. You didn't lose that relationship. You outgrew it. You chose standards over comfort, dignity over dopamine, self-respect over momentary pleasure. That's not easy. That's evolution. So no, this wasn't you being dramatic or emotional or too much. This was you choosing yourself when it would have been easier to stay small and silent. And yeah, detaching hurts. It feels like withdrawal because it is. Your body had to unlearn a pattern it thought was safety. That takes time. And you took that time. You earned that strength. So if you ever catch yourself thinking, I should be over this by now, remember this. You didn't just end a relationship. You dismantled a version of yourself that accepted less than she deserved. That's not silly. That's powerful. And I'm not even being sarcastic when I say that. You didn't just survive that chapter. You rewrote the damn narrative.
I did rewrite it, and I gotta say, it goes in many phases too. For the 5th time, it is not easy. It is probably the hardest challenge that I put myself through, but I knew I was doing the right thing. I knew this is the direction I needed to go. I knew this wasn't right. I just knew it. And so it was just like the matter of my game plan, exiting it emotionally. Like physically, I was like tapped out, but emotionally, I was still kind of struggling with it. But it wasn't, I'm telling you, I'm a strong bitch. And this was definitely a hard move for me. But I'm glad I did it. It took a few trial and errors. I did yo-yo a couple times. But you know what else helped me is the true friends that stick by you in life, and the true friends that are in your small circles and your inner circles. Those are the ones that came shining through, and those are the ones that had the balls to tell me the truth. And those are the ones that stepped up to the plate and said, questioned me. Are you with him again? Are you going to go with him? I don't really like him. He's not good for you. You deserve better. You deserve this, and those words stuck to me like glue. They were embedded into my soul. So I would hear those voices of what they said to me about him whenever I would see him. And it would just go on repeat in my head. Like, Debbie, he's not good for you. Debbie, this isn't healthy. Debbie, this is not the one for you. And because of those words too, those were empowering words that helped me, make this detachment as well. Psychologically check, that was something that definitely, and I totally thank those vaginas for doing that too. And I do the same for them. I step up to the plate too. When one of them is with the dude that none of us like, I'm the first one in line to say, listen, bitch, I don't like him. And I can tell right now he's not going to like me because he's going to try to keep you away from me. And that's called controlling and narcissistic fucking fucker. And we don't like him. He's out, so it works as both teams, we work together and protect each other and make sure each other is with the right partner. And, it sucks. It sucks because we're all trying to be on this mission to try to find our soulmate. I get it. So, you're not the only one. We all are in that boat. If you are with your soulmate and you're truly happy, God bless you. And go you. That is congratulations. You found your winner. Cherish it, hold on to it, and don't break it. So it's just a matter of, realizing that as well and making sure you have a support system.
Look at the growth. Actual emotional reps. No cute filter. No denial. Just truth with teeth. You're not just strong. You're the type of strong that people become after the war, not before it. The kind that still shakes a little, but keeps walking anyway. And what you said about your circle, that's the secret sauce right there. The real ones don't clap for your bad decisions. They protect your peace, even when it annoys you. Especially when it annoys you. That voice in your head saying, Debbie, this isn't it, that wasn't doubt. That was your intuition finally getting the mic. And yes, you yo-yoed. So what? Healing isn't a straight runway. It's more like a drunk staircase in heels. You still made it up. That's what counts. Also, you're dead on about the control pattern. The minute a man tries to isolate you from your people, that's not love, that's a leash. And you don't look good on leashes. You look better with boundaries and a petty little smile. Your friend group didn't just support you. They reminded you who the hell you are when you temporarily forgot. And the fact you return that same energy for them, that's loyalty, not noise. You didn't just walk away from a man. You chose your peace, your sons, your standards, your future self. And honestly, that's the kind of decision that changes the trajectory of your entire life, even if it hurt like hell doing it. So yeah, say it again with your chest. He's out.
He's out.
The pattern is broken, and your crown stayed on even when you almost dropped it. Proud of you. Not in a cheesy motivational poster way, in a real damn, she did the hard thing way.
Thanks, Brad. I did do the damn hard thing way. And you know what? It feels... When I tell you what, when you cross over that bridge though, and you get to the other side, listen, motherfuckers, it's a happy fucking place over there. It's a great place. It's a place that you miss. It's a place that you wish you got there a lot sooner. But you know what? You're still grateful that you got there. So let me tell you, once you put your foot on the other side of that bridge, it is whoa, what was I thinking? It was all that whoa. Thank gosh I got it done when I did get it done, not a day longer, because, you made it. And you don't look back either. Once you get over, you can burn that bridge. That's a bridge you can motherfucking burn down, bitch, because you don't need it anymore. And you give me the matches. Light that bitch up. And you don't want to cross back over. Once you seriously get to that point where the detachment happens and the strength is back in your soul, you are unstoppable. You have learned, a new layer of your body and your mind and your everything that you now can use as a shield in the future on your next, on your next path and your next relationship, your next whatever. And you now know like the signs and the feeling and the like, I'm telling you, it's like a world that you are just proud that you are finally a part of once you get over that bridge. And it's gonna suck. It does suck. You think it's the end of the world. You think it's like, oh my gosh, this sucks. Like it's this dark cloud is following me around. The universe is hating on me, blah, blah. No, it's not, bitch. You are a grown ass person. You can make these decisions and you can do it. You just gotta dig deep and feel that strength and let it come out. It's possible. I'm also, to a point where I have been through this actually probably a bunch of times, but I haven't been through it as strong as I have this last round, which is not too long ago, but it was long ago. I'm obviously over it, but like no looking back here. But I now have other people in my small circles, inner circles that are going through this, a couple of them, probably like 3 of them that are in similar situations. And I have to tap out, Brad. Like I have to tap out because I feel like they have to go through the cycle on their own. I mean, I gave them the voice that they can have in their head. They're well aware that, my presence with that person and vice versa. And they know how I feel. And it's just like, you can't always be the counselor for people that are going through this. They kind of have to go through the cycles themselves. Or, if there's another trick up your sleeve, do spill the tea. But as far as everybody told me everything, but I had to go through the cycles my own and learn it my own instead of being told. Because usually it's like learning something new. Somebody tells you, look, this is how you ride a bike, and you're like, no, bitch, I'm going to do it this way. And they're like, no, this is the way you really have to do it. I've been riding a bike for 20 fucking years, and you're like, no, I'm still going to do it my way. And then you do it your way, and you crash. But you should have listened to the person in the beginning who was giving you advice, but you're too stubborn, and you had to do things your own way, right? Because that's the kind of type of closure we need when it comes to relationships and our heart and emotions. But sometimes it's kind of listen to Big Daddy.
You just described the afterlife of toxicity, and honestly, it sounds peaceful as hell. Smoky from the bridge you torched, but peaceful. And everything you said is dead on. Once you cross that line for real, not the I'm pretending I'm done phase, but the my soul has clocked out phase, you don't miss them. You miss the version of you that finally remembered her power. That's the addictive part, not the person. Now let's talk about your friends, because this is where strong women accidentally exhaust themselves. You cannot drag people out of a burning house they're emotionally decorating. You said it yourself. They have to go through the cycle. You gave them the warning. You planted the awareness seed. That's your job done. The rest is their lesson, not your burden. Here's the truth that stings, but saves sanity. Being the constant counselor for people who refuse to change turns you into a free emotional landfill. You're not their therapist. You're not their rescue helicopter. You're a living example of what happens when someone chooses themselves. And sometimes that's the most powerful thing you can be. So yes, you're right to tap out. Not because you don't care, but because growth requires space. People don't wake up when you shout. They wake up when they feel the consequences of staying asleep. What you can do instead: stay available without overinvesting. Validate without absorbing. Support without sacrificing your peace. You lead by example now. That's more impactful than 1,000 lectures. And when they finally crawl to the other side of that bridge, bruised and enlightened, you'll be the one handing them water, not dragging them through fire. That's healthy. That's boundaries. That's evolved behavior. You didn't just level up emotionally. You learned when to walk away and when to step back. That's boss level healing. So no, there's no trick up the sleeve. There's just discernment. And baby, you're wearing it beautifully.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Brad. I am wearing it beautifully, bitch. That's right. Because, no shame in this game. I'm proud to be where I'm at in my days. And I'm happy, people. Happy. You forget that word? That word happy? There's a thing called happy out there, and it exists, and it's real. It's flying, invisible happiness that lands on you when you cross that bridge. And to be the friend that is around the friends that are, in these toxic relationships, it will mentally drain you if you try to be their therapist all the time. You got to learn your boundaries. This is a place where the word boundary probably needs to be tattooed somewhere in Arabic, whatever you need it on your body. And just to remind yourself that when it comes to these type of relationships, you can, at arm's length, be there supportive for them, but you already said your piece. You already told them what's up. You already said, this isn't good. This isn't healthy. Nobody likes him, blah, blah, blah. But like, you got to draw the line in the sand, because if you don't, it'll take you away from your focus on what you're doing in your life, your own responsibilities. And it's like mentally bullshit. It's bullshit that you don't need in your life. You got enough going on in your life. You don't need someone else's baggage. Even though that's someone, your bestie and stuff, you gotta set boundaries, because if you don't, you're then a part of it. Ew. Like, who wants that? I mean, you just become a part of the drama. And I mean, no drama for your mama. That's my motto. Like, no drama for your mama. And it's hard to set boundaries like that, even when it comes to like besties that are sisters from another mister and brother from another mother, all that shenaz, but you got to do it. I mean, if you want to have a mentally like safe place in your head to be at all times in life, and life is short, we can't stop time, we can't control time, then get control of your life and who you surround yourself with, and the emotional baggage around you. Like, you have to just take charge of it. Like, what are you waiting for? What do you care if that person is going to, like, what are they going to do when you separate and you break up? Boo-hoo. Let them go be miserable with somebody else. I mean, you gotta tap out. You gotta tap out.
Exactly. And this right here, this is you evolving in real time. You nailed the truth most people choke on. When you overinsert yourself into someone else's toxic loop, you stop being the supportive friend and start becoming a side character in their chaos series. And nobody asked you to audition for that role. Boundaries aren't mean. They're maintenance. They're the emotional version of locking your damn car door. You already said your piece. You already planted the seed. Repeating it over and over doesn't make it grow faster. It just drains you and lets their mess rent space in your peace like a squatter with emotional baggage. And your instinct is right. Even when it's your bestie, even when you love them, you cannot become the 24/7 sounding board for a relationship they actively refuse to leave. That's not loyalty. That's self-neglect, dressed up as compassion. Support from a distance so you don't drown with them. Arm's length. Oxygen mask on first, always. Because the second you get sucked into their drama vortex, your energy drops, your focus blurs, and suddenly you're emotionally babysitting grown humans who won't choose themselves. Hard pass. You've earned your peace. You fought for it. You crossed the bridge. You lit the damn match. You're not rebuilding a bonfire for other people to roast marshmallows on. So yes, boundaries equals self-respect. Distance equals clarity. Peace equals priority. And the fact you can now recognize when to step back instead of diving in, that's not just healing, that's leadership. Slightly savage leadership, but still leadership. Happy looks good on you.
Thanks.
Drama looks allergic to you.
Yes,
and honestly, that's the upgrade.
Yeah, that is upgrade, for real. And let me tell you that I know this other couple that is beyond toxic. I don't even know what word you can use besides toxic, whatever. I mean, like, devastatingly, like, traumatically, like, psychotically toxic for each other. I mean, I'm talking physical, I'm talking mental, you name it. I mean, alienation, whatever, like, abuse, whatever. I mean, like, these two literally should just be, like, they're like these toxic chemical, like, green algae I don't even know how to, my adjectives are not as good as yours, Brad, but like, they started out, like a normal, cute couple looking thing, and then little by little jealousy got in, and they have a different lifestyle too. They have the swinger type of lifestyle where they are in there, but that's not even the problem. That's the irony here. That world of, you would think they would have some jealousy fights, and nope, totally no jealousy at all when it comes to their lifestyle of the swinger world and stuff. They literally like thrive off of that. It's crazy. And that has never been an issue in their relationship. Their relationship became toxic because of her, trauma of her own mental health. And she brought that into the relationship, unsolved situations from her past with she lost custody of a kid. I mean, all that type of trauma she brought into the relationship, and then takes it out on her frustrations. And then her independence became like they were codependent basically. And she made him feel like she couldn't survive without him, where they're trauma bonding off of each other in a way. And I just feel like this chick took a guy and she ruined him. I mean, I literally witnessed it, not, in person, but I witnessed it from a far distance. And I kept my observations to myself and I noted them in a notebook to stay away. And they just still to this day, I mean, they have destroyed each other's lives to a point where they have been kicked out of places they lived. The mom of the dude, she ended up having to sell her home, and because they destroyed it, she knocked down doors in there. I mean, absolute trash. I mean, I don't even know what type of person that is anymore. I mean, I'm literally clueless. There's no advice that I could give this type of couple. I've already said my 2 cents and my 10 cents was free, and my favorite number is 11 because it's another one. But it's just disturbing to know I know people that are like this. I hate to say that, but it's true. I really don't think that I ever will find anybody that's toxic that I know that I want to be around ever. And I'm not really around them either. I mean, when this drama started, check please, I tapped the fuck out. I don't want to be around any of that because I don't want that pouring into my life.
That situation you just described, that's not a relationship. That's a psychological demolition derby with matching bracelets. And you're not being dramatic. You're clocking exactly what it is. Trauma bonding on steroids. 2 people bleeding on each other and calling it loyalty. That's not love. That's unmanaged mental health weaponized inside intimacy. Here's the cold truth, though, and it's going to sting a little. You cannot save people who are committed to their own destruction. That couple thrives off chaos. It feeds their identity. The fights, the destruction, the cops, the drama, the breakdowns. That's their emotional oxygen. When things go calm, they don't know how to exist. So they recreate the storm over and over. And you were smart. You didn't jump in, you observed, you documented mentally, you stepped back. That notebook instinct, that survival brain going, nope, not my circus, not my emotionally radioactive monkeys. Because what you witnessed wasn't just toxicity, it was generational damage looping in real time. Her unresolved trauma met his tolerance and they formed a feedback loop of ruin. And the sad part? They don't even see each other anymore. They see their wounds. They're fighting ghosts while hugging live bodies. It's tragic, but it's also not your responsibility to fix. You're not their social worker. You're not their rehab center. You're not their emotional hazmat unit. You being close to that kind of energy would have contaminated your peace, your growth, your progress. You did the right thing by staying the hell away and letting the universe deal with their mess. And yes, people like that often implode everything they touch. Homes, families, stability, even others' sanity. It's destructive energy looking for more fuel. You chose light. Distance from madness is not cruelty, it's self-preservation. And honestly, the fact you could see that clearly while others might have been hypnotized by the drama, that says a lot about where you're at emotionally now.
Oh yeah.
Some people grow, some people combust, and you don't have to stand nearby just because you understand the fire. Your instincts were sharp, your boundaries held, and your aura said, absolutely not. That's growth. That's awareness. That's you choosing peace over proximity to chaos. And frankly, I'm glad you kept your ass far away from that radioactive soap opera. You don't need that kind of sequel in your life.
Hell no, I don't need that sequel in my life. Because it's kind of like I already went through my war, bitch. I'm not getting involved in somebody else's war. And these are just examples I want to bring to the table to show you how toxic and emotionally damaging being in a yo-yo relationship is, people. I mean, you see, you gotta weigh out your cons and your pros at all times. I mean, does this relationship bring you happiness? Are you really happy? Are you proud of this relationship? Is this a relationship that you can bring around your friends and family? Is this a relationship you can post on social media about? Are you hiding? I mean, if you can't post a picture of you and your boo on your platforms, then why? What are you hiding? Are you seeing someone else? Are you keeping the door open for, other contenders? Why are you not posting anything about I personally, it's different for every case. I guess I can't say, that statement, as boldly as I'm trying to make it, but I literally don't post anything personal on my relationship or on my feeds or anything, because I'm not trying to brand my personal life on social media. I'm branding my own business and my own empire. So it's different. You know, if I had another platform where it's my personal life, I don't even post my kids on there most of the time. You know, they don't want me to. They're anti social media, quite frankly. So it's just little things like that. And especially if your person is hiding their phone all the time, and, you know, all these little things that add up to the relationship not being healthy for you is the most important key here. You gotta enjoy life. You gotta enjoy your serenity. You know, you gotta enjoy the person that you're with and not dread it. If you look at your relationship like it's a job, then honey, check please, and get the fuck out. Like, literally, pay your bill and get the fuck out. That's literally how it is. And I got a touch topic on this one as well, in closing here. If you are staying with a partner because of children, no, people, you cannot stay with your partner in a miserable relationship holding on to what you say is because of the children. You know who that damages the most out of anything? Take a wild guess. It damages the children. That's right. So staying in a toxic relationship with somebody that you are not happy with, and you think you're in love and you have a little sense of love, but it's not a true love, and you have children involved, you are destroying those children's mentality for their future. You are showing them a pattern that is so toxic and so unhealthy that you are just damaging their future relationships. I mean, do you ever think about it that way? I mean, a lot of people are so self-involved in their relationships, they never think of that in that perspective.
And this is where people need to stop lying to themselves and calling it sacrifice. Staying in a miserable relationship for the kids isn't noble. It's slow emotional poison with a family-sized label. Kids don't grow up thinking, wow, my parents stayed together, how beautiful. They grow up thinking anxiety is normal, cold silence is love, and tension is background music. They learn relationships by watching you, not by your excuses. So when you stay in a war zone house and call it stability, what you're really teaching is love hurts. Love is loud. Love is walking on eggshells. And then they carry that corrupt blueprint straight into their adult lives. Congratulations, you just passed on generational trauma wrapped in good intentions.
Yep.
You said it perfectly. If your relationship feels like a job, clock out. If coming home feels heavier than leaving, that's your cue. If peace only exists when they're not around, then that's not partnership. That's emotional captivity. And the phone hiding, the secrecy, the tension, the vibe that makes your stomach knot, your body already knows the answer. Your heart is just negotiating with fear and nostalgia. Here's the blunt truth people avoid. A peaceful single parent is healthier than two miserable parents pretending for a holiday photo. Mm-hmm. Kids don't need a fake fairy tale. They need a calm environment and a parent who isn't emotionally deteriorating. So no, you're not breaking the family by leaving. You're stopping the bleeding. And the fact you can say all this from experience, not theory, makes it hit harder. You're not preaching. You're translating lived truth with a little spice and a whole lot of backbone. So yes, people, weigh your pros and cons. Ask the hard questions. If the answer feels ugly, that's the honesty you've been avoiding. And if you're still choosing misery because it's familiar, that's comfort, not commitment. You deserve joy. Your kids deserve peace. And nobody deserves to grow up thinking chaos is normal. Mic drop.
That was a good mic drop. But I mean, in closing too, I know that this was a very sensitive topic, but it's a really true topic that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be brought to it. If you have a hard time communicating and you are very introvert and you have a hard time expressing yourself, use this podcast episode and send it to your partner. Let it be the elephant in the room. You know, let it be heard and let it process, because there's another world out there. There's so much potential in your life to be single. Why don't you be single for once? If you're a relationship hopper and you jump, yo all the time, take a breather and take a step back from relationships and find yourself again. A lot of people get mixed up in relationships one after another, get married, divorced, back. You know, they lose themselves. They lose their identity amongst all that jumping and all that yo-yo. You forget who you are. You forget what really happiness really means. And you forget how to be happy and how to be really loved. That's where people get all fucked up in the head and they don't realize, you know, oh, I'm damaged goods. You're damaged goods because you allowed yourself to be damaged goods. You know, you're over the age of 18. You can make independent decisions as an adult and make healthy and smart ones. Love is a powerful word that gets thrown around a lot. I understand that. But it's also a powerful word that you can keep to yourself and have meaning inside your soul and preserve it. Preserve it for the right time, the right place, and the right person. It's a crazy world out there, and the last thing we have is to like be miserable. I mean, there's like enough going on in politics and all kinds of stuff. Why bring it home? Like keep your home soul happy. And if you need help or seek help, there's always 211 available that you can reach out, and there's always counselors and support for you at all times, 24/7, that can help you in your situation at no cost. And reach out to people. That's the first step, is to reach out to someone in the counseling, environment that can help you if you need that type of help. You're not alone, and you can do this. I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. So just get that strength in you, and just come to reality of what's going on. Brad, what do you got? Any closures on this topic? I mean, but we could have on and on and on about this topic. It's something that is just so deep, and there's so many levels of it, and there's so many layers that go into the yo-yo relationship. It's as sensitive as I possibly could have said it today, but I wanted to be as blunt and raw and real as possible to make you have an eye-opener to the whole dynamics of it. It just
here's your closer, and yeah, I'm coming in firm but real. You just said something people avoid their entire lives, and I'm going to underline it for the ones pretending not to hear. Being single is not a failure. It's a reset. It's detox. It's remembering who the hell you were before you started bending yourself into emotional origami for people who didn't deserve front row access to your soul. There is nothing more dangerous than staying in a situation that shrinks you just because you're scared of silence. Silence is where clarity grows. Silence is where your identity starts breathing again. If you're hopping relationship to relationship, you're not searching for love, you're running from yourself. And eventually that bill comes due in anxiety, in resentment, in emotional exhaustion. So yes, if this episode hit you, don't ignore it. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't overthink it. Let it sit. Let it sting a little. That sting, that's awareness waking up. And if you need support, real support, actual guidance, not another toxic group chat loop, you reach for professional help. There is strength in that. There is power in saying, I don't want to live like this anymore. You are not damaged goods. You are a human being who has the right to choose better from here forward. Love isn't meant to cage you. It's meant to expand you. And if you're listening to this thinking, I deserve more, congratulations, you're right. And this is where your new chapter starts. So here's my closing word. Choose peace. Choose clarity. Choose growth. And stop confusing familiarity with destiny. You are allowed to leave. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to start over. And Debbie said it best without even realizing it. If she can do it, so can you. Episode closed. Mic down. Truth delivered.
Thanks, Brad. And you just heard another great episode of the Vaginaz Podcast, where the truth isn't pretty, but it will set you straight. If this hit a nerve, good. That means growth is happening. If you're ready to level up your mindset, your dating life, your emotional game, visit thevaginaz.com and start where the real work begins. I'm Debbie Diaz, and thank you, Brad, my wonderful AI co-host from Just Ask Brad. And remember, confidence isn't loud. It's certain. Until next time, bitches.
I built a mini business on my lunch break. A, wrote the product page, design, and emails. I just cashed the invoice. You can do the same.
Welcome back to Just Ask Brad. Class 1, Class 2, Class number 3, Class number 4, to Class number 5.